economic chapter, globalization and Indian economy. Today we are at the last topic of this chapter, that is the struggle for fair globalization. So this is what is the topic that we are going to see today. So before getting into the topic, I want you to have your books in your hand, my dear students, because we have a case study which we have to see in this. So if you see, I was been insisting you or I was been saying you before itself that because of the MNC companies, the small producers as well as the small sellers, domestic producers are affected. Yes or no, my dear students? Yes, I was insisting you. Now we are getting into the struggle that is being faced by the people in India because of the globalization. So that is what is today's topic. If you see, you can take page number 68 where you can see about a picture which is given. It is a case study. It is the small producers. So they became a competitor or they became a prey. Prey means like food for the animals. Like that is how they are going into. You see here there is a rising competition which has been arising. So rising competition has been developed where you can find there is a competition which has made the industrialists as well as the slavers to not to have proper living condition, like they have been struggling to survive. That is how you can find the globalization has led them. See the rising competition. If we take the case of Ravi. Okay, Ravi is actually a person who was having a who is having a small production of the capacitors. Capacitors means you can find all these capacitors will be used in the electronic items, electronic gadgets. Like in television, they will use in the bulbs and other aspects. So when they are utilizing, when he started his business, can find he had a lot of people under his control, like around 20 members were been working under him by 1929 when Hosur he started, and he is having around 20 people under his work, and he was able to produce large amount of capacitors where it is exported to the other places where it is being sold to the many companies, and he was also getting bulk orders during that time. And after the world, after the WTO has entered and set in restriction, you can find his struggle to run his company started. So his struggle started when the WTO imposed a tax on the products like capacitors in the year of 2001. Okay, so during that time, his clients started using to get different companies' products. Okay, so like they were been getting products from the MNC companies also. Even MNC company is also producing the capacitors. So they sold them at the half price of what is being sold by Ravi. So what happened? All the people who had, when the customers of Ravi started moving towards the MNC company, and now you can find he's having only 7 people under him for working, and he was able to produce very less comparing to the previous year how he was producing. So he has also had 2 other friends who also have the same company of producing capacitors in different places like in Hyderabad and Chennai, and now they have closed their industries itself. That much condition, that worse condition was being posed by the MNC company. But Ravi is trying to struggle and come out of it for his life. Not only in the capacitors, even for batteries, capacitors, plastic toys, tires, dairy products, for even for vegetables, even for vegetable oils, you can find they have the competition which has been prevailing. There are a lot of competition which is existing because of the MNC company that has entered into India. This is one case. Another thing we'll see about the garment worker Sushila. Okay, so we'll see like this competition has made the condition of the workers also worser in condition. If you see, it is creating an uncertain situation for the employees. Previously, we had when the globalization was not existing, you can find the people who have been working in the government areas were being provided with so many benefits, like they are considered as the permanent workers, and they will be provided with some kind of facilities like health facilities provided. They were being given overtime payment. They are doing night shifts and all. So like that, they were being given benefits. Okay, but after the MNC company has come into existence, so these MNC companies wanted to export their products, and also you can find that they had the raw materials. Yes, raw material was also not exported in a high rate, it was also very low price only. So what happened, in order to minimize the profit, what they started doing is they reduced the wages pay, and to maximize their profit they have exported to the other countries. Like that they started doing. So what happened is that the regular permanent jobs started getting respected. People were being hired for jobs temporarily. They were taken for few hours or few days, or for a few months, and later they are being left out without anything. You can find that after the MNC companies has come into existence, these workers know when they are not going for a job because of the working conditions or because of their health condition, it is considered as no pay day. That is how they were. But previously it was not like that. Previously it was considered as they are working in an organized sector. Now they are being pushed into the condition of unorganized sector. Okay, so if you see about Sushila is a person who's been working in a company, like she is a garment worker, she is considered as a permanent worker, entitled with health insurance, provident fund, overtime double rate. Then Sushil factory got closed in the year of 1990. She was in search of job and she was not able to get proper job in a particular area. 30 kilometers away from her living area only she was able to get a job. So she has to travel from her home to the working place to 30 kilometers, and morning 7:30 she has to start moving from home, and she'll reach home by around 10 o'clock only. So this is how it is, and now she's considered as a person who's not getting any kind of profit that she was getting before. Like no provident fund for them, no health insurance for them, no overtime for them. So they were being pushed into the condition of a struggling way where they were being in an unorganized sector. Then you can see that this started, like they were being not benefited by any days. When she takes leave, it is considered as no pay, as I told you already. So now you can understand these two case studies about Ravi and Shushila. This two case studies says that because of the MNC companies who have entered into India has worsened the condition of the industrialists as well as the workers. Do you all agree or not, my dear students? Yes. So that it has worsened the condition. But what has to be done now? There should be a struggle which should exist in order to provide them with a proper living condition. Okay, so for that only we are getting into this topic of the struggle for the fair globalization. So how the struggle can happen? You see, when globalization was started, it was benefiting only few sections of the society. That is, you can see educated people, skilled persons, and wealthy people were being provided with lot of opportunities to enter into the global level to have a good connection and improve their own economical condition. Then you can see that it has stopped there itself. It not provide any importance for the workers or the industrialists. Okay, then you can find the fair globalization. So what is this fair globalization? So definitions is given in your book. You can even see page number 70. It is fair globalization would create opportunity for all and also ensures that the benefit of the globalization are being shared better. So what it says, fair globalization means it should provide opportunity for all, and the opportunity should benefit the everyone, so that benefit of this will be shared by everyone. So that is the concept behind the fair globalization. Whether the fair globalization is existing, no, right? So what has to be done? So here comes the role of the government. Government can play a very important role by protecting the workers and protecting their own interests. where they have to work, what is their condition of working. All these things can be checked by the government of India. So the government has a very important role to be played over here. Then you can also see that the government can have a negotiation. Negotiation means having peaceful talk with the WTO in order to reduce the trade barriers for India to the other countries. Then it can also have that our government can even have a word with the negotiation with the developed countries for exporting their own products, so that there will be a development which will happen for these people also. Okay, so the final thing is that here we have the representation of the common peoples. The common people should campaign and they should have the representation of organizing their own organization, so that their importance will be viewed by the common people, viewed by the international organization. Okay, so that there can be a relaxation given for the industrialists and the laborers, daily wages. So this is what is the struggle for globalization. Okay, my dear students. So we will have a quick recap. So we saw about the rising competition that was arising among the industrialists, particularly Ravi. Ravi is a person who is manufacturing the capacitors. So capacitors were being produced more in numbers. By 1922, we can find that we had a lot of people under his control. Around 20 members were being working as a laborer under his control, and he was producing bulk amount of capacitors to the television companies as well as for the bulk companies. Okay, so this was being done. But after the MNC company has come into existence and World Trade Organization had given restrictions on the trade, what happened is that 2001 onwards, people started buying the products of MNC companies, which is comparatively half the price of Ravi's capacitors. So they were not happy. That is, Ravi was not happy with his own productions. So after that, you can find the workers have left the jobs from Ravi production of capacitors. It was around only 7 members he had under his control, and his two friends who had the same company of capacitors producer production in Delhi as well as in Hyderabad and Chennai, where they were being supposed to close because of the MNC companies. Okay, so this is happened for Ravi. So next thing we see about Sushil. Sushila is a person who has been working as a laborer. Previously where she worked was a company where she was considered as a permanent worker, and she was provided with health insurance, provident fund, overtime, like double payment for the overtime was being paid for her. So but when she was being forced out of job because of the MNC companies who started taking laborers at a very cheaper rate. Okay, so that has made her to move out of the job, and wherever she was living in that area, she had also the factories. Those factories paid very less for her, so she wanted to go for a company which is paying better for her, and she got a job in 30 kilometers away from her living area. And she got up. She have to start from her home by 7:30, and she'll reach around by 10 o'clock at home night. Okay, so this is how the condition of her was existing, and she was being pushed from an organized sector to an unorganized sector where the workers' condition were being put into a struggle. So this is really an not good thing which is happening because of the globalization, and she was not being paid when she is taking leave. So this is all the pathetic condition which is being prevailing because of the MNC companies. So what can be done in order to stop this? So that is what we are seeing. You see, the people who benefited in this is the educated people, skilled people, as well as wealthy people who got a new opportunity to enter into the international market were only been the benefiters, but the remaining were being the strugglers, right? So the fair globalization. So fair globalization means it should provide opportunity for everyone, and the globalization, when it provide opportunity, it should be shared in a better manner. So when it is not happening, it is the role of the government to make some kind of measures in order to stop it. Okay, so it is having the role of the government. Like government should take up the role to reduce or protect the interest of the workers. And next thing you can see that the government can negotiate with the WTO, World Trade Organization, in order to reduce the trade barriers. And next thing if you see is that you can see the companies and like this MNC companies which are there in the developed countries, no, they even can have a negotiation with the Indian companies to sell the products at their own nations. See, that can also be done. And common people's role here is to have campaigns and show their representation by organizing their own people's demonstration. So through this way we can achieve the fair globalization. So this is what is about today's class, my dear students. Remaining we will see in the